What's going on, guys? Nathan Lombardi here with Lambeau Media.
I'm Christian Bergman, former pitcher for the Seattle Mariners and Colorado Rockies.
And welcome back to another episode of the Walk It Off podcast on Walk It Off Wednesday. And make sure you guys subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give us a thumbs up on this segment if you haven't already. And make sure to follow us on Instagram as well at walkitoff_podcast. The link will be in the description. And in this episode, a little later on, we will be joined by Connor Greene. He's in the Kansas City Royals organization. But before we get into that guest appearance, we have a lot to talk about with opening day right around the corner. Me and Christian and I are going to talk about who we are most looking forward to seeing play and perform in this 2020 season since opening day is right around the corner. Let's kick it off with some pitchers. For me, I'll kick it off. It's the Colorado Rockies pitching staff as a whole. There's a lot of question about if they'll bounce back or not. I personally believe they will. One big one for me is Kyle Freeland. He didn't have the best season last year. He had a 6.73 ERA last season, but he has bounced back in the past. In his career before. In 2017, his rookie season, he had a 4.10 ERA and then transitioned into 2018. And he was a Cy Young candidate with a 2.85 ERA. And even to their bullpen didn't have the best season last season. Wade Davis still getting settled in that rotation. But I think their bullpen is going to bounce back this season with Yency Almonte. This is his first time on the opening day roster for the Colorado Rockies. He has a lot of potential. Carlos Estevez. I think they'll both dominate. I think German Marquez and Kyle Freeland, that duo for their starting rotation, is really gonna go into this season with an open mind, a positive mind, a lot of confidence, and dominate. Christian, who are you looking forward to watching in this 2020 season as far as pitch goes?
Well, like you said, Freeland, I'm really excited to watch him pitch, not just because I know him personally, but to go from the season he had in 2018 to last year is it's a huge swing. And
right.
I think a lot of that has to do with you get into a bad spot during a season, and there's pressure on you to fix it while you're in the big leagues. And if you're trying to if you're searching for something while you're in the big leagues, sometimes it's really hard to find it because there's really no easy days when you're there. So, then if you get sent down to kind of reset, you feel like you've let everyone down, or,
Right.
It's kind of a blow to your psyche where it's like, I had to get sent down after being a Cy Young candidate.
Mm-hmm.
That's tough to come back from. But I think I've known him for years, and I think he is more than capable of doing it. And I think he will do it. And, to have the season he had, to be a Cy Young candidate in Colorado is not easy. It is extraordinary to be able to do that. Will he replicate that? I don't know. He may never replicate that again. Everybody has a best season of their career, but I think he will, go back more towards, what you can expect from a guy like that. And that's, to eat up a bunch of innings and, win 12 to 16 games, and, just keep your team in the game every time. And that's not an easy task these days, especially, when starters now, they only go through the lineup maybe 2.5 times. He's a guy who can do it 3 times.
Yeah.
And he can carry you. Like you said about Marquez, that guy's nasty, and he's been very consistent for them. And excited to watch him pitch. John Gray, he's been pretty solid too. So yeah, I'm excited to watch these guys. Almani, excited to watch him, have really his first full crack at it. And then the bullpen made some changes the last couple of days with Shaw and McGee. They ended up getting scooped up by Dodgers, and who did McGee get? Shaw get scooped up by? Do you remember?
I'm not sure.
They just picked him up a couple days ago, but it was the Mariners.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So made some changes there. Like you said, Estevez Wade Davis. Those guys are more than capable of closing down a game in the back end. So, yeah, Oberg too. He's he's really turned into a very dominant presence in that bullpen. So, I think it'll be a fun season to watch, and it'll be fun to watch those guys try and bounce back. And like we talked about in shows before, you get hot for 30 games, that could carry you through the rest of the season. So, I'm excited to see where that goes.
Yeah, I think it's just based on how they start, because like you mentioned, it's only a 60-game season, and what we've seen with the Rockies rotation in the past is down the line and down the stretch later in the season, when you're passing 100 games, that's when they start to slow down and their ERAs start picking up. So I think the 60-game season will really be benefiting the Rockies starting in bullpen rotation throughout the 2020 season.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
Yeah, for sure. And now let's transition into who we think will perform very well in the 2020 season as far as positional players and the offensive side of things go for these MLB players. For this part of things, it's really two players that really stick out to me. The first one being Fernando Tatis Jr. He was off to a dominant start last season in his rookie season back in 2019 until he unfortunately had a back injury mid-season. He was off to a hot start with a .317 batting average. Like I mentioned, it was his rookie season, and he was already off to that hot of a start, and it was in the talks of Rookie of the Year, even possibly MVP. That's not an easy thing to do as a rookie. It's not easy to win Rookie of the Year, let alone MVP. So what are your thoughts on Fernando Tatis Jr. in this 2020 season, Christian?
I'm with you, man. He was exciting and fun to watch, especially when it's a rookie doing it. Just because, there can be that kind of floor you have to break through as a rookie as far as your confidence goes and everything, because it's like you're finally in the big leagues, but he had no trouble doing that. And, for a franchise in San Diego that, pretty desperately needed some excitement, he was obviously they got Machado and Hosmer too, but to have a new guy come in like that, who's essentially a homegrown talent, to have him come up and just dominate like that, really fun to watch. So I think we'll be watching him for years to come. And like you said, I think he'll get off to a good start this year, and he'll put up a pretty good season.
Yeah. You experienced it firsthand. You experienced a rookie season just like Tatis, and how nerve-wracking was that for you? Obviously, you mentioned the nerves running through Tatis in his rookie season. It had to have been hard for him, and he still had the capability to dominate in the league in his rookie season. How is that rookie season for you as far as nerves go?
I mean, he's a very different player than I was. He's very, lots of energy. And so, I'm sure he had some nerves going into it, but he probably pretty quickly turned around and used that in order to kind of fuel his energy on the field. Right. But yeah, I mean, of course there's going to be nerves. It's just really a matter of if you can convert that to a positive thing.
Yeah.
Because nerves aren't a bad thing. It gives you, it's another form of energy. If you're bored, you're probably not going to play very well. So, that's definitely not an issue when you first get called up. So to see him, convert that so quickly and have such a positive impact so fast is definitely impressive.
Yeah, most definitely. Another player that I'm looking forward to seeing perform in this 2020 season is a very huge player, a rather huge player, Aaron Judge. Christian, you mentioned that you had to face him when he was a prospect for the Yankees. I've just been seeing him during 2020 summer camp. He's looking good. He's been hitting moonshots during summer camp. Talk to me about when you first saw Aaron Judge step in the box when you faced him.
Yeah, so I was telling you that, the Rockies never played the Yankees or any affiliates coming up. So I was actually playing in the Arizona Fall League in 2014, and I forget which, Fall League team the Yankees are on. But anyway, I'm pitching, and Aaron Judge steps in the box. I'm like, oh my God, who is this guy? He's gigantic. I mean, I'll never forget. just seeing like because he takes up a lot of the box, kind of like
Yeah.
Stanton does.
Yeah.
He just takes up a lot of space in the box. He's kind of far off the plate, but you can tell
Yeah.
like he can cover the outside corner too. And I'll never forget like just seeing this giant standing in the box, and then like the catcher and the umpire, they just look tiny, from my point of view. But yeah, that was my first time seeing him.
Yeah.
Uh, I do remember punching him out though, so I
Yep.
can at least say that. But
Yep.
yeah, he's looked really good this camp, and like you said, he's been crushing the ball.
Yeah.
That's what they have him there for, and obviously that ballpark too is. I mean, well, there probably isn't a ballpark in the big leagues that can hold Aaron Judge, but that's
Yeah.
that's one that's definitely kind of like a sandlot for him.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. He's not only dominant on the offensive side of things. He's also a beast in right field as well. He has a cannon of an arm. He can cover a lot of ground, make some plays, and he's a man of the people as well. So those are the two players that really stick out to me for this 2020 season, and those are two players that I really think that are going to perform in this 2020 season.
Everybody, today we are joined by Connor Greene. He is a current pitcher with the Kansas City Royals and grew up in Santa Monica, California, went to Santa Monica High School, was committed to Southern Nevada, but decided to sign after being drafted by Toronto in 2013, the seventh round. Spent a couple of years in rookie ball, had a few really solid years from 2015 to 2017 between A ball and Double A. Was an All-Star 2016, 2017. Was traded to St. Louis as part of the Grandel Grichuk trade. Uh, was an All-Star again in 2017 in Double A. Spent a little time in Triple A too. Was outrighted off the roster and then claimed by Kansas City. Went back to Double A yet again in 2019 with Kansas City. Was an All-Star yet again, but was promoted towards the end to Triple A. But still only 25 years old. So, right where he needs to be. He's also an avid surfer, as you guys can probably tell. He's not far from the beach right now. Connor, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah. So what are you up to right now, man? Are you, part of the mix as far as the player pool goes, or how's that going?
I'm just staying as ready as I can. It's unfortunate that I wasn't part of the 60 man, but it's not the end of the road by any means, or it's not a sign that they are giving up on me. It's just really just you can use it for a beneficial time. Like I can use it as like a really good time to just keep on pitching, face hitters, and just chill out and enjoy life, but also like, get after it at the same time, like figure out what I need to figure out to take it to the next level.
Right.
But like you just explained, it has been a long time, like 7 years. So this is a nice break for a little bit.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I just retired, so I know what it's like to finally get a chance to breathe.
Yeah.
So did they kind of tell you like to stay ready in case there's a need as part of the pool?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just stay ready for, I think all players in this situation need to just stay ready for themselves anyway, because you're always playing. It's not just for the team you're on, So at the end of this year, I think I'm a free agent again. So I'm just staying ready to further my career wherever it may take me, whether that's, overseas or even just somewhere here in the US and hopefully with the Royals, you know what I mean? I hope I can continue with them, and that's best case scenario. But yeah, I'm just staying a good baseball player so I can be ready for anything that happens,
Yeah, definitely. So, what are some of the kind of the challenges you faced as far as like coming up, relatively high pick, then you go off to rookie ball. And again, I don't know if people really understand uh, what was the transition like going straight from high school right into pro ball? Was that difficult at all?
My transition from high school to pro ball, I always look back and like envy this naiveness and this like just clueless kid that came in just to not pitching for anybody but himself, not pitching for anything but the idea of like, holy crap, I signed for 100,000 in the 7th round. I didn't hold out. I didn't necessarily like act like I didn't feel I didn't realize I belonged there or didn't belong there. I don't know. There was no judgment. So that was like the best thing ever. That was like the best feeling.
You're like, I want to go play pro ball, so I'm gonna go play.
Yeah, like I was like, wow, they think I'm a good pitcher. I have been playing. My dad and I practice our entire lives to be like a shortstop. Like we're gonna be like the next Jeter or something, like every kid and their dad, right? But they're like, yeah, you're gonna go as pitcher. So, and we probably didn't do it as smart as we could have, but it was an opportunity. So the adjustment period was just like summer camp. It was just like the funnest time ever. All these college guys from SEC schools are like coming and complaining about how the fields and the facilities aren't that nice. I'm going from like really bad high school fields, really bad and like crap batting cages. Boom, I'm in this facility in Florida, Dunedin, Florida. I think it's big league as heck. Everyone else is complaining. I'm like, this is the coolest thing ever. Me and the Latin kids. Yeah.
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 That's awesome. I think, I think something you're kind of touching on that I encounter a lot through my career is having perspective. And you can make any situation seem as good or as bad as you want to. And you go into it with like just open eyes, like I'm just so excited for this experience and this opportunity.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, you got these, like you said, these college guys coming like, oh, this place sucks. Like,
yeah, compared to like Ole Miss or like, about Alabama, like obviously, their facilities are rad as hell. They're awesome. They're state of the art. Right. Yeah. Another thing is the competition. You haven't set your bar yet, so you're not like we'll talk about that further. I even will dive into that. Setting your expectation. Chris Archer actually recently said that to me in a parking lot. He said you set your expectation at a certain level, and if you're not reaching it, you can't do that because I'll explain that in a sec. But there's no expectation yet. When you're 18, 19 coming in, there's no ceiling is what you can do. People have no idea what you can blossom into, and that's like a really cool thing.
Yeah, most definitely. Sure. Christian mentioned you got drafted back in 2013, obviously. What would you say your biggest takeaway has been since then?
Takeaway as in like just the game of baseball. What do you like to elaborate a little bit?
Yeah,
more specific.
Just out of pro baseball, what would you say, like something that you maybe learned from maybe a mistake or a experience that you've had throughout your career? What have you taken away from your career thus far?
Well, besides just the interactions with like your guys that become your brothers, basically, like in the clubhouse, and like other just really like crucial character developmental like points in my life that I really was taught from baseball. Like besides those ones, I would say like don't take the time that you have on the teams for granted. I was #1 prospect at one point, or like pitching prospect, and I think I really took a lot of these times for granted and like just expected things to happen. Like you need to go out and get it and make it happen. So my biggest takeaway is, and I'll apply it now in everything in life and also like further my careers, it's the time is now. Don't like wait. Don't wait on it. Like just go out and grasp it. Like everything's fine. Go get it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's something I
fizzle out. Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, that's it. That's it. Just reiterate.
I was gonna say that's something I learned like the last 2 years of my career was like I didn't care that I was in Tacoma. In that tiny, I don't know if you've probably been in that clubhouse, haven't you?
Yeah.
The tiny little clubhouse, like the home side isn't much different. I didn't care, man. I was just enjoying like going to the ballpark every day, being with the guys. And I can tell you from, sitting from where I'm at now, that's what you miss the most. Like you forget most of the games that you spend your entire time thinking about when you're playing.
Yeah.
You don't even remember it.
Yeah, like
when you're done,
driving yourself crazy over like something that you remember the experiences and stuff. But with that being said, like that easy mindset, I think, can help you focus on the mound and also like help that performance aspect too, because now you're not doing the tight butthole, gripping changeups too hard and like throwing them 40 feet. You're just relaxed. You're just boom, arm action, and it's flowing low in the zone. Like, and your vibes are up and everything's up.
So I was going to ask you this anyway, but I'm getting the sense that I'm sure you see, is there a connection for you between surfing and pitching?
I think there's a connection. Yeah. There's a connection in every aspect of sports. I think like just the balance aspect of surfing and just being athletic, paddling, using your scaps like and stuff.
Right.
On your paddle. But like you pop up and you're just athletic, and like you pop up into the athletic position that like you get in when you hit, punch, kick, like surf. You know, that's like the universal athletic position.
Right.
And yeah, I think it all applies. You can be an athlete in all sports. Brought in.
What about like the mental side of it? Like, I'm sure when you're out there, I surfed a little bit when I was growing up, because I was probably not far from where you're at right now. And you know, there's a kind of a Zen sort of like, you can't change what the ocean is going to do. You just find a way to go along with it. Do you kind of?
Yeah, I do agree with that, because you can control what you can control.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Completely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but another thing about surfing though, real quick, my bad.
Yeah. No.
When you pop up on a wave, there's not much thought process. There's not much like, oh God, like there's no like the second guessing. It's just reaction. And I think what I like about that is that's kind of like what hitters get to do or basketball players get to do. It's like a reaction game. I feel like, you know, you see a wide open pass, so you pass it there. You see an open lane. But for pitching, it's like a very like passive, like you're standing there and you're going to start the play, you know? And that was what was difficult for me. I'm more of a reactive player. Like I'll see the ball, hit the ball type thing. First, like focus, you initiate like or start this play. And so I was trying to apply some of this like surfing, like when I pop up, there's no thought process. It's flow, target, go, you know? So I started trying to apply that to my pitching, like, you know, target up, no side thought process, boom, fire to the home, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely.
I read somewhere that baseball is unique in that the defense, it's the only game in which the defense has the ball. Is that, you ever heard that before?
Yeah,
like football,
no, I haven't.
Offense has the ball.
Yeah, hockey, they
offense has the ball.
Soccer, they have the ball.
Yeah. So, I think if you're like a more of a reactive player, I could see how that would be like kind of difficult to be like, I'm the one starting everything. But, you know, like you said, when you really get down to it, it is a matter of, you know, flow, like you said, to the target.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you've been in the league. At what aspect is it, you know, right, where we're all the same talent wise, and it shifts to who can handle that 50,000 person crowd and knowing that you're pitching in Colorado. You know, It's like you just push aside these like side variables and like let your body naturally do what it can do.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, most definitely. Christian experienced this in his career, but for you, what would you say the process looked like for you when transitioning from organization to a whole complete different organization, and how is that for you mentally?
It's cool. I mean, like, well, so I cried when they told me on the phone like I was going from the Blue Jays to the Cardinals. I teared up for sure.
Yeah.
Because that was my first one, like, and I was like, what the heck, like. We're doing so much work together. Like,
was
I'm
that a
at the
good cry or a
facility.
bad cry?
It was just like, damn it! Like I had like a tear, dude. I was crying. It was a good cry, like man tear.
At least someone wants me.
But well, I had done so much work with them, and we were grinding in the off season together. You know, I'd moved out to Florida to grind at their facility and stuff. So I go down to Jupiter. But what sucked is I just got hurt, and I had just hurt my AC joint from a stupid accident, like stupid. and just life. That's just life, you know.
Yeah.
So I got hurt, and I didn't get to perform the same way I wanted to, and how I was with the Blue Jays with the Cardinals, and that would have been really cool because I had some real good friends on the Cardinals, and Yadier Molina would have been an insane catcher to be able to pitch with for like an actual season.
Right.
But you know, things happen, and you know, things get prolonged, but it's just not the end of the road. That's just so they keep having that mindset.
Yeah, for sure.
So I was reading up on you a little bit. I think I was telling Lamba I think we crossed paths once when you were in what did I say? Or 2018. Where were you?
2018, was that 2 seasons ago? 3 seasons ago?
Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell now.
I was in Memphis.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
I think I was with Tacoma, and we came to Memphis. I think you threw in one game, but that was like the only time we really crossed paths. I was reading up on you, and I saw something that kind of was interesting. I thought was you've actually been an extra in Anger Management, which is pretty cool because I love that show. And that really,
last episode ever.
Yeah. So, you know, how did that come to be?
That came to be, I got to shout out Tony Todd off the bat on that one. And that was because he was Charlie Sheen's best friend in high school, and they were really good friends all throughout life. Tony's a very ambitious, outgoing, loud dude, and he's the man. And he was a big part of the reason why I got drafted, because he was helping me get seen like with Perfect Game and stuff. And he was my high school like assistant coach. You know, he lives in Santa Monica and was just helping out. He's like a Santa Monica legend, honestly. But yeah, so him and Charlie, we had a deal. I was like, can I come up to Charlie's house? And he was like, nah, you don't get to come because I'm like some high school kid, you know?
Yeah.
He's like, nah, I don't think you can go to Charlie's house. But he's like, but if you get drafted, like you can, he's like, go ahead, get drafted. And we'll, like, you know, we'll go meet Charlie. So sure enough, like a few weeks later, like 7th round, that draft story is actually interesting. There was like it wasn't a school shooting, but it was a shooting near the school in SMC, at SMC campus in Santa Monica College. So they shut down our campus. So I was like in a lockdown, like getting drafted though, but like hiding in the auditorium with the whole school. But yeah, Tony was just a big part of that. So we run up to Charlie Sheen's crib, and awesome. Wanted to play catch right off the bat, and we just started chatting it up, you know, like just like this, like, and he just loves baseball, and he's like a warm-hearted dude, you know. So he'll connect with you personally. So we connected personally a little bit, and he actually lives right by me now. But yeah.
Yeah, you're bad.
Yeah. Yeah, my bad. But yep, and I got to be an extra. They cut out, I did like a little line, they cut out the line, but we got a high five in there, and I did like the worst face ever. Like such a like not what I wanted to portray, but like it is what it is.
Was that something you always wanted to be in a TV show, or did that just like happen?
That just went along, and that happened. that one just went down. Yeah, I came to visit the set. He's like, dude, you just go into makeup real quick and like get like this costume. Get this uniform on, because it was a baseball scene. So he's like, you're definitely like, I'm making you $300 today. This is gonna be hilarious type thing, you know. He's just like, do it. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's an interesting story. What would you say your most memorable moment in your career has been this far?
All the All-Star games, like every single one of the All-Star games. Like I am honored every year to be on it, and I wanted to be on it every year. Yeah, right, dude. I love not moving up after I do the best on the team for the first half, and then also I'm on the All-Star team. But you know, it doesn't matter.
Are you trying to become an All-Star in every league for every team?
That's what I'm.
Every AA league.
I'm 2 out of 3.
Yeah,
that's tough. Like that's tough in the sense like that sucks.
No, in all honesty though, like it is pretty cool. I believe me, I get it. Nobody likes going back to AA, but
Yeah.
dominate it every single time. Like in the end, these are professional hitters that you're
Yeah.
dominating. You're proving that, you know, you're among the best at doing it.
Yeah, that's always the thought process, right? It's like, let me just at least be among the best on these boys. That's as like a man and as a player, like your own ego. To an extent, you got to play for your own little ego there, and it's just the respect. That's why I like the All-Star games. You know, I've faced them like Reese Hoskins and like Bellinger and all my boys like Judge, like all the homies now that are like in the league.
Right.
They, on a personal level, I think respect me as a ball player. You know, not necessarily the whole MLB knows, but the people that face me know, and it's like a good feeling. Soon the MLB will, hopefully, right? So,
yeah.
But that's my favorite part, the All-Star games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In that
Sure.
respect.
Man, you're definitely in the right place too, because like we said, you're 25, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I was 25 in AA.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
difference was you've got like almost 800 innings under your belt.
Yeah. I know, that's so crazy.
You've proven you can do it. So
I know, dude. My video guy, I had like my 500th career strikeout. Like my video guy came up to me and is like, yeah, man, like, hey, congrats, dude. You just hit like 501 today. I'm like, oh my gosh, man. You got out of here. I was in dubs again for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think it's kind of like flown by as far as?
Yeah, that's why I don't want to take any day for granted, because I really was. I was taking these days for granted, and I think it has flown by. 3 years have flown by.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. Well, so one of the last things we ask our guys, we're starting to ask our guys, is what's something about you that people probably wouldn't guess about you or don't know about you? It can be anything. It can be baseball, not baseball.
Yeah.
Anything you want.
It's pretty self-explanatory. Like, I grew up in Santa Monica, live in Malibu, go surfing about every day. I wake up, I'll go like on like a mile swim or go spearfishing in the morning. I'm pretty obsessed with guitar. I'm not great at it, but I'm learning blues and stuff.
Nice.
And I like singing, not good at it, but I'll sing my heart out. No. Oh, here we go. You guys may not, everyone not know it. I live in an RV. Right.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah, there you go. I got an RV on a cool property in Malibu.
That's awesome.
Is that your property? Or are you on someone else's?
Family friends.
Okay.
Yeah. But it says the Woosley Fire. We did, so like shout out California Strong Foundation. You know, we're doing like charity events, that charity softball game for the Woosley Fire that like burnt out all of these mountains. Like, so a lot of these houses are in rebuild mode. So
yeah,
I'm just being the guard dog.
There you go.
That's awesome. Well, that wraps up everything. That wraps up everything we have. Congrats on all of your accolades thus far, Connor, and there's definitely more to come, and we really appreciate you coming on the Walk It Off podcast for this episode, and we look forward to talking to you soon.
Alrighty, sounds good. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Connor.
See ya.
That we wrapped up that amazing guest appearance of Connor Greene, a very interesting guy, a very interesting story, has a lot of interesting stories throughout his career, and even outside of baseball. Let's transition into the fan question from Derek in Colorado. He's asking what it means for a player to be designated for an assignment. We're gonna start seeing that a lot with the season just right around the corner, and in a new format for the 60-game season in 2020. Christian, you can explain this pretty well.
Yeah, so being designated for assignment means they're taking you, the major league team is taking you off of the 40, what would normally be the 40-man roster. I'm not sure if that includes the 60-man roster. Now that could be a separate transaction, but normally the 40-man roster is the major league roster. So you've got the active 25, which is 26 now, and you've got the remaining 14 or 15. So when you're taken off that 40-man roster, you're designated for assignment. So what that means is they're either going to release you, trade you, or outright you to the minor league and put you on outright waivers. So once that day comes, so players DFA'd on day 1, they have 10 days to figure out what they're going to do. Anytime within that 10 days, they could decide, okay, we want to put him on outright waivers, which means he goes off the roster into the minor leagues. At that point, another team has the opportunity to claim him. So they submit a waiver claim, and they need to put him on their 40-man roster. So that's one thing that can happen. The other thing that happen, they can work out a trade in those 10 days with another team. The other thing that can happen is they can just outright release you.
Yeah.
So we'll probably start seeing that quite a bit. The benefit of being on the 40-man roster is that in order to be put on the active major league roster, you don't need to be DFA'd, because you don't need to create a spot by DFAing someone. You can just interchange 2 players who are both on the 40-man roster. So like you said, we'll probably start seeing that happen a little bit more as players are added and subtracted from the 40-man to the 60-man player pool. So, so that is what that means.
Yeah, for sure, most definitely. There you go. That's the rundown on what it means to be designated for an assignment. And that wraps up everything for Week 4, Episode 4 of the Walk It Off podcast on Walk It Off Wednesday. Thank you guys for all of you guys who tuned in this far, for the amazing guest appearance of Connor Greene, and everything else that we talked about. An amazing fan question from Derek, and that wraps up everything for this week's episode.
Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week. Make sure to comment below and hit the like button and let us know any questions you want answered. We'll answer them here on the next show.
Yeah, most definitely.